Good morning. I want to welcome you to a full body strength training circuit workout. This is inspired by primary movements of the human body. So, bend and lift movements, single leg balancing movements, pushing movements, pulling movements, core, and rotational movements. So, this is a very simple circuit. It's suitable for all levels. So, if you've never done any strength training before, this is a great place to start. So, why do we do this? It's important to train with resistance through functional movements that we do in our everyday lives. For example, you all have to get out of bed, you got to get up from a chair. We all have to pick up heavy objects off the floor. We have to push things. Maybe you do a lot of gardening. You got to push a lawnmower. We've got to pull things as well. We have to pull heavy doors, things like that. And you have to do all of these things while bracing your core, keeping your core nice and strong to protect your spine from injury. So we're going to think about those things as we move through this circuit. We need to do all these things with resistance, practice them. So we're going to stay strong for everyday life with a workout like this. It's a non-specific workout, just full body strength, and you're going to feel really good at the end. All right, so let's get started. For this workout, you don't need a lot of equipment. So if you're working out from home, all I have behind me is a mat and a little towel. I need to cushion myself or my kneecaps if I'm doing half kneeling work on the floor. So mat and a towel. I have a light kettlebell and I have a heavier kettlebell. So you're going to pick the weights that are appropriate for you. If you don't have weights at home, you can just use anything you find around the house, big bags of rice, dumbbells, whatever you have that's appropriate. And then I have a chair. The reason why I'm going to use the chair sometimes for this workout is because it's going to help me with balance. So especially if you're new to weight training and you have trouble balancing on one foot, the chair is going to be useful for that. All right, so we have a warm up first, and then we're going to do some mobility, some movement patterns, kind of get used to the movements. We're going to do 7 exercises and 3 sets of 8 reps of everything. So you can do 2 sets if you're tired. You can do lighter weights if you're tired. There's lots of options to modify. All right, so let's get going with our warm up. So everyone come up to standing. You're just gonna stand on your mat and we're gonna start by circling one ankle. We're gonna move from the bottom of our body right up to the top. So I'm gonna circle one ankle clockwise here. Hands can just be relaxed on the hips. We'll just do a few circles this direction, and then you're gonna switch. Bring that back the other way. You can think about drawing your belly button in, using your core muscles, starting to firm up everything. And then we're gonna switch legs. So let's go ankle circles, other side. This is gonna prepare us in part for getting down into squats. We need to make sure our calf muscles aren't too tight. Ankles are ready to go so we can reach a deeper range of motion in our squat. Let's switch directions. Good. All right, we're gonna add some calf raises here. So this is a dynamic stretch for the calf. So you're gonna start with the heel back, lift and lower. Good. Just warming up those calf muscles. We're not holding any stretches during the warm up. We're gonna keep it dynamic, moving through those ranges of motion in our joints, getting ready to pick up the weights. All right, let's switch legs, other side, up and down. Good. Few more on this side. All right, let's come to feet and knees together. We're gonna circle those knees. Circle. Little cracks here and there, warming up those joints. Let's switch directions. This should feel good. Just go to a place that feels good for your body. And then we're gonna come on up to standing. This time it's hips. So my fingers are on my hip bones And I'm gonna send the hips back behind me as I draw big circles from the side. You can see I'm hinging back, keeping my spine straight here. If you haven't switched directions yet, let's do that now. Going other way. Hands can just be at your hips now. Good. All right, we're working our way to a little bit of a balancing movement now. So we're gonna stand on that left leg, feel grounded, spread those toes, and you're gonna lift that right knee up and tap it down. Lift and toes come down. So you're focusing on holding that balance here. You can add a little external rotation here. Open, close, knee up, open, close. Good. Let's do the other leg. All right, other side, we're balancing, spreading those toes. Left knee comes up and down. Good. Finding that balance. And then let's add the external rotation. So you lift it up, out, back, and down. Up, out, back, and down. Good, couple more. Preparing for single leg work by connecting the brain and the body. Good, okay, feet back, about just a little wider than hips width apart. Hands to the shoulders, and you're gonna rotate here. So I want you to try to think about rotating through the rib cage here, keeping those hip bones pointing forward and using that mid upper back. Lumbar spine stays stable. We have more rotation through our thoracic spine. And then you can add a little reach. Arms side to side. From the side, I look like this, reaching side to side. Good. Keep going like that. And then you're gonna reach those arms all the way out, flipping those palms up and down. You're gonna feel a rotation now through or right into the socket of the shoulder joint. So we're warming up all those little small muscles in there. And then we're gonna bring those hands up. You can't see my hands, but they're still rotating. And then I'm gonna bring them back down. And I'm gonna bring them to the front, still rotating. And then you can come back to center. Palms are now facing towards each other. And you're gonna squeeze those shoulder blades forward and back. So my elbows do not bend here. I'm just pushing and pulling through the shoulder blades. Working on range of motion. This is called protract, retract. We're gonna work on this later in the circuit. So remember that feeling of squeezing your shoulder blades back and pressing them forward. Good. Now you're gonna open up, elbows, bending those elbows back, lifting the chest, exploring that range of motion. Be gentle on your shoulders here. If you have shoulder issues, please just go to wherever you do not experience any pain. This is a warm-up. We're not trying to hurt ourselves here. All right, good. Roll those shoulders out, shake it out. Maybe they got a little tired there. Okay, we're gonna come into a hip hinge here and a spinal roll. So you're gonna roll up, shoulders back, hinge back, roll up, shoulders back, hinge. Good, we're warming up our spine, nice and gentle. Couple more. And last one. Nice work. Okay, coming down now to your mat. You're gonna take a big breath and gently send your hips back, knees bent, fingertips come down, and then you're gonna come down onto all fours here. Just from the side, I'll show you what it looks like. We're gonna take that right hand and dive that underneath, and then open up for a little thoracic rotation in all fours. Diving right hand underneath and up, under. Keeping the hip bones pointing down to the floor. Opening up and twisting. Good. Let's do the other side. Left hand dives under and open. Under and open. Couple more. And last one. Good. All right, we're gonna do a little core activation here now. So you're gonna draw that belly button into your spine. You might wanna bring a cushion here underneath that right knee, because we're gonna lift the left one off the floor. So at the same time, I'm gonna send my left heel to the back wall as I reach forward. And then I'm gonna bring that underneath, tap my right hand to my left knee, and send it forward again. Keep going like that. Send that heel away, squeeze that left glute, bring it back in. You're using your core here to keep your hips stable. Back is not moving, only that right arm and that left leg. Good. All right, hands come down to the floor. We're gonna take the left knee onto the cushion now if you need it. We're gonna send right heel back, left arm forward. Tap and tap underneath. This is just a gentle core activation. Good. Bird dog variation. Warming up the core. Reach and tap. Last time. Good job. Okay, knees come down to the floor now. Last little bit of the warm up in half kneeling here. You can still, keep that cushion there if you need it. I'm gonna put it under my right knee and I'm gonna do a big circle with my left hip. My knee is bent at 90 degrees and I'm circling out towards the chest and out. You're using your glutes here to lift that leg up behind you. Last circle. And then we're gonna switch sides. So adjust that cushion, that towel, and then we go big circle with the right leg this time, right hip warming up through a nice healthy range of motion. Don't worry about how high you can lift. Everyone's hips are different. It should feel good in your body. Good, last big circle. And come on down. Okay, nice. So and I'm gonna put my left knee now on the cushion and I'm gonna step my right leg forward. We're almost done the warm up. I know it's a long one, but this is great, healthy mobility for our body. You can always fast forward it when you know it more. Okay, so hip bones coming forward, and then you're gonna hinge back, pick up that front toe. So we're just gently opening up through the hip flexors. We're gonna add some arms here. So it looks like this. As we come forward, reaching the arms up and circling down as you lift the toe. So my left hip flexor is getting a little dynamic stretch, and my right hamstring, as I come back, you feel that right hamstring. Not going too deep. This is just a warm up. Good. One more forward and back. And then I'm just gonna take my left foot, pivot it back, And now I'm in what's called squat preparation here. So my right foot is about a 45-degree out to the side. So it kind of looks like this from the side. So here you are, and you're gonna reach over and pull your elbow down. Reach over, pull the elbow down. Use your back muscles to draw your scapula down as you come up. And here, your hips are opening a little bit. Dynamic warm up for the hips. This gets our body ready to squat because we're gonna pick up the weight soon. Nice work. All right, let's switch sides here. We'll go into squat preparation right away on the opposite side, pulling that elbow. And then we have our lunges next. Breathing. Good, let's do one more. And then you're gonna pivot over to the opposite side, starting with the lunge. So right hip flexor here, we're on the opposite side. This is a little bit of balancing work actually too. If you find it difficult to hold the balance here, you just find that right position for your legs or your feet. You may wanna widen that front foot out to the side a little bit. If you haven't added the arms, let's reach up. Circle down, reach up, circle down. Good, couple more. And last one. Good work. All right, so we're gonna come on up to standing, and I like to come up through a downward dog, give the chance for my calf muscles to open up a little bit more. So I come back to hands and knees, and I'm gonna lift my bum up into the air and send those heels down to the floor. Some of you may be up here, and that's okay. You just wanna gently lift and lower those heels. Should feel good. Don't press too hard down to the floor. If you have tight calves, take it easy. Good, and then when you're ready, you're gonna fingertip your way back to your feet, bend those knees here, and then slowly roll up, nice and gentle, shoulders back, rolling, rolling, rolling. Good. All right, so that is it for the warm up. We're gonna go straight into our circuits, but first I just wanna show you just to pattern some of these movements before we actually pick up the weight. So a squat, if you're relatively new to the squat, or you just haven't worked on the technique, I like to use a chair for my squat. So do a few squats with me with no weights on the chair, and this is what it looks like. So when you sit in the chair, you can start here by sitting, right? So you're just on the end of the chair. You're gonna lean forward here, press those feet in the floor, and you can see you kind of have that zigzag shape to your body. So the line of my calf is similar to the line of my spine, right? Arms in front, core engaged, inhale, press into the floor to come up, and then come back down. Don't sit now, just touch. Up and down. So you can see how much you have to send your hips behind you to be able to sit in the chair, right? I'm really sending those hips behind. And some people find it even hard to get all the way down. So if you're not really touching, that's okay. I'm just kind of grazing the end of the chair. So this is our warm-up squat. We're gonna grab the weight soon. Good. And so a lot of the times you will see people squatting like this, where they bring their knees forward or they round their spine like this, right? These are not safe ways to squat for our back. So that's why I want to show you the chair, because this way you've really got to send your hips behind you and protect your spine and keep your core turned on. One more thing I'm going to show you, single leg deadlift, okay? So this is where we balance on one foot. If you find it hard to stand on one foot, you're going to use the support of the chair. So the foot that's closer to the chair, I am gonna balance on that foot, and I'm gonna send this one behind me. So you're gonna send the chest forward and the heel back at the same time. So your body's a straight line. Here we go. Sending that behind and coming up. So I am using the support of the chair as I need it, right? My right hand can come down. My right foot is firmly planted into the floor, and I'm using my right glute. When I'm down here, I'm using my right glute to bring me back up to standing. Also bending that right knee as much as you need to, especially if you have tight hamstrings, okay? So that's the movement pattern for our first two exercises. So let's now grab our weight. So I want you to grab a weight that you feel comfortable with. If you have a dumbbell, you can use it like this, right? In front of you in a goblet position. If you are working with a kettlebell, I like to turn my kettlebell upside down. This particular kind has a really nice grip this way. So we're gonna do 8 squats with our kettlebell, holding that out in front of us. Core is tight, and you're gonna hinge back and touch the chair. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, brace the core, nice and strong. And then you're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3. Squeeze the glutes. 4, hinging back. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. Next one, single leg deadlift. Kettlebell is in my left hand. I'm gonna balance on my right leg. Chair is near me if I need it. And I'm gonna do 8. Letting that weight, so the weight is in the opposite hand from my standing leg. Squeezing that right glute, bending that right knee. That's 4 and 5, 6 and 7 and 8. Well done. Let's switch sides. You can either use the chair or not, right? So left hand would be coming to the chair. A kettlebell is in the right hand, and we do 8 and 7, 6, 5, core is strong, pressing that left foot into the floor. 3, last 2. Last 1, and good. Come on up. Nice work. Okay, number 3, bent over row. This one I really like to use the chair. So set yourself up. What you're gonna do is that hip hinge we talked about. Send those hips behind you. Your feet are just a little wider than hip width. I'm gonna row. My right hand is gonna be on the chair for support. So check your spine. You don't want it to look like this. Send those hips back, shoulder blades back. Your spine is straight, and you're gonna row with that left hand. Pick it up, retract the shoulder blade back first, and then pull to your hip bone for 8. 7, belly button is tucked in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Left hand's on the chair, right hand's pulling this time. So when you pick up the weight, depending on how heavy that is, make sure you draw the shoulder back first, stabilize your core. Ready? Here I pick it up, straight spine, and pull. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, good, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, we're gonna leave the weight for our next one. So that was a pulling movement, bent over row. Now we're gonna do a pushing movement. So you're gonna come down to your mat now. We're gonna do these from knees down, okay? Full version will be a full plank, but I'm gonna demonstrate knees down version first, especially if you're new to push-ups or you find push-ups really hard. This is called a scapular push-up and then an eccentric push-up. So scapular push-up, you remember from the warm-up, we squeeze and press away. Then we're gonna lower ourselves slowly down to the floor. This is a good kind of training for the full push-up because we're strengthening those muscles, but we're also working on our posture and the ability to hold those shoulder blades in place once we move on to more challenging full versions of the push-up. All right, so here we go. I've got my knees together, my ankles together, and I'm gonna come forward, right? So my shoulders are over top of my hands, and then I'm gonna do one scapular push-up, and then lower ourselves down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck that belly button in and press yourself back up. All right, one scapular, one full. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck the belly button in, press yourself back up. If you find it hard to get up from the floor, I don't really mind which way you do that. Just come with me as slowly as you can. It's always that last 1 inch before you hit the floor. That's the more challenging one. So if you need to kind of come up like this, that's okay. Okay, that's 3. We're gonna do 2 more. So here we go. Scapular. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on back up. I'm gonna demonstrate the last one in full version. You guys can decide if you wanna do that from full plank. It looks like this, scapular, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is it. Those are our push-ups. We're gonna go on to a seated overhead press. So for this one, I'm gonna use my lighter kettlebell. You can also do this one with a dumbbell. You're gonna sit on your chair, all right? So we don't need to worry about our lower body so much. We just wanna maintain a nice neutral spine, upright posture, chest back. We're just gonna work on those shoulders. If you have shoulder issues, go through these really slowly. Some people find it hard to lift weights over their head. So if it's not for you, it's not for you. All right, so the palm is gonna face towards me. And then as I press, so upside down kettlebell, this is gonna strengthen the wrist because I gotta hold that and try to keep my wrists nice and strong. Dumbbell, a little bit less challenging for wrist strength and grip strength. Just a little side fact there. Okay, so we're gonna twist, rotate here as we press, and palm comes to face me, and palm rotates to face forward as I press up. The reason why I'm rotating is because I'm just gonna access a few more smaller muscles in the shoulder joint that help with external and internal rotation. Good. We're gonna do 8 on this side. That's 4 already. And 5. And 6. Exhale as you press. 7. And 8. Good. Nice work. Okay, other side. Just in case you don't have a kettlebell, I'm going to show you what it looks like with the dumbbell on the other side, but I want you guys do the same weight. So palm facing, I'm still on my chair. Rotating press. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Good. Chest lifted. 5. Trying to straighten that elbow as much as you can. Last one. And we are done. Good work. Okay, dumbbell, kettlebell can come down. We're gonna come back up to standing and we're gonna do what we call a hay baler. So we've done our pushes and our overhead presses. We're gonna work now on our rotational movements. So I want you to imagine you have to pick up something heavy off the floor and put it up somewhere. So say I have a heavy object. This is how lots of people injure their backs, right? Is they take something and they're twisting and rounding their spine, and then they pick it up like this and they go, ooh, I think I hurt my back, right? So this is a safer way to twist. So you have this object beside you. What you want to do is you want to take it, right, with a straight spine. So you're hinging the hips a little, picking it up. I'm drawing my core in, bracing, and then I'm lifting it up and rotating down and lifting it up. All right, so this is a gentle rotation here for your spine where it's a real functional movement pattern that we would use in everyday life. So I want you to think about using your core for this one. So we're going to keep going like this, right? Bend those knees, keep your back straight. We're going to do 4 more twists. And 3. Good. And 2. And 1. Good. Okay, so that's what it looks like with a kettlebell. With a dumbbell, I'm going to do the other side with you guys. So I've got to shift my chair here. And my heavy objects there. So you can hold your dumbbell this way and then twist. 1. Put it down. 2. Touch it down. 3. 4. 5. Bending the knees, not rounding the spine. 7. And 8. Good. Last exercise, we're gonna do a plank. Okay, so this is core. All right, so I'm gonna take my light weight here and I'm gonna try to hold it over my head. So if you guys are experienced people or you wanna challenge yourself, you're gonna come up, stack your feet and come up to your full plank here, lifting this weight overhead like this and holding, right? But for the purpose of this, we're gonna start with knees down, lift those hips up. You're gonna press that bottom knee into the floor now, and then you can pick up your weight. So this could be a kettlebell hanging down the back like this, or you can use your dumbbell like this and just pick it up. Good. So we're gonna hold here for 5 big breaths. Inhale, exhale, tucking the ribs in, tucking the belly button in. 2, and down. 3, inhale, exhale. 4, big breath, inhale, and exhale. And 5, inhale, and exhale. Good. So we're just going to do that same thing now on the other side. All right. Knee comes down, weights by your side, getting ready to come up. When you come up to the side plank, think about drawing the shoulder back and down and tucking those ribs in. We're going to come on up. Once you're up, then you're going to lift your dumbbell. Draw the shoulder back, pressing the bottom knee into the floor, lifting the hips. Good breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Couple more. Last one. And exhale. Control the descent. Nice work. Okay, so for that side plank, I also want to offer you guys, instead of having to count your breaths, you can also aim for 30 seconds on each side. That's also a good thing, a good place to go. And then things to think about while you're side planking, keeping that chest lifted. A lot of people will round their shoulders forward and kind of end up somewhere like here, like shoving their shoulder back. So try to open up. And then the other thing is too, is if it's too much for you to have that dumbbell overhead, just let it go and do this body weight only, okay? So that's it. That is all 7 exercises that we have. And what I want you guys to do is definitely one more time through everything: the squat, the single leg deadlift, the bent over row, scapular to eccentric push-up, seated overhead press, hay balers, and side planks. So you can rewind the video, do that second set together. Ideally, you end up doing 3 sets of about 8 reps of everything. The push-up, I would recommend slowly down to the floor, probably just 4 or 5 of those ones. So you can do 3 sets, play around with your weights as well. As you feel stronger, you're going to increase the weight. And yeah, enjoy the workout. Bye, everyone.